Adding solar to a project can take what was once a simple sensor and turn it into a mess of different modules and ugly wires.
So instead, I built this. It's an all-in-one development board featuring solar charging, battery management, and wireless connectivity. In this video, I'll show you the design choices that I made, how I put it together, and we'll even deploy it outside using Home Assistant.
At its very core, to make this development board, we just need a low-power wireless microcontroller, a battery, and a bunch of sensor inputs. For a battery-powered project, you'd normally just reach for the extremely popular TP4056 charging IC. But as this board is going to be solar-powered and primarily located outside, this isn't the best choice. Sunlight can fluctuate, creating unsuitable voltage spikes for the TP4056.
Conveniently, this chip exists.
The BQ25186 is designed specifically for this purpose. It features a flexible input voltage range that goes up to 18 volts, extremely low standby current draw, and a built-in power path. The power path means that the chip ensures that the board doesn't run off of the battery when it could be running directly off of the solar panel, resulting in prolonged battery health. For wireless connectivity, I decided to go with the ESP32C6 microcontroller. Alongside traditional Wi-Fi, which has high current spikes that eat away battery life, this chip also supports the Matter over Thread and Zigbee protocols. This gives us the ability to use modern, low-power mesh communication to efficiently communicate to other devices, making the board way more versatile for different types of projects. Lastly came the form factor. For this part, I decided to match the design with the popular Raspberry Pi Pico, which has a really nice balance between accessibility and size. With the plan laid out, I got to designing the PCB, which I later sent off to this video's sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is an easy-to-use, trusted, and affordable PCB manufacturer. Using their online tool, you can easily upload your Gerber files and choose from a variety of materials and finishes for your PCB. Alongside PCB manufacturing, they also offer PCB assembly, CNC machining services, and 3D printing. Check out PCBWay's 12th anniversary event in the link below. After about a week, the PCB arrived. After admiring the beautiful quality of the board, I set to work on placing all of the tiny components. And with that, here it is, Solar Board V1, featuring USB-C, 10 input-output pins, a JST connector for the battery, and even a quick connector, which lets you easily connect devices that support the popular I2C protocol. And as a bonus, I also added reverse polarity protection to the solar panel input so that a simple wiring mistake doesn't accidentally fry the whole board. And with that, let's power it up. As you can see, I have it plugged in, not into the computer yet, but we'll see if it actually shows up on my devices list. So let's do it. See. Oh. Okay, so it's probably boot cycling right now, so I probably have to press the boot and then that. I think that should probably stop it from doing it. Yeah. Oh, perfect, it stopped. So it should be under COM3. If I unplug it. Yeah. All right, let's go. It connects to the computer. All right. It connects. It connects. To properly test it out, let's create a simple outdoor sensor that will send some data to my Home Assistant server. To program the board, I used ESP Home, which makes it really easy to set up small sensors like this. By writing some really simple code, you can expose the board's pins directly to your Home Assistant server and see the sensor data on a graph. The only downside is that ESP Home is primarily targeted towards Wi-Fi devices, which means that we'll be using the least efficient method of sending data. However, running this protocol as opposed to Zigbee or Thread has the benefit of showing us what the worst case scenario will look like for battery life. To find out whether or not the board could sustain itself, I ran the sensor outside for a couple of days. At first, I tried running it on a deep sleep interval of 10 minutes, meaning that the board would wake up 6 times per hour to send data. However, this proved to be too frequent, as the battery ended up lasting only about 24 hours before eventually dying. Since I wanted to keep the size of the panel the same, I changed the code to instead make the board wake up once per hour. But just as I went to reflash the board, this happened. I just soldered back the USB-C port, which unfortunately ripped off because it wasn't properly soldered in. And I don't know if you can see, but one of the pads actually got ripped off. But the good news is that that pad was just a ground pad, and there's actually another ground pad right here on the left. So I think we should be good. It is finally back and connected back to the device. So it's finally showing up in the device manager, which means it works. With the port fixed and the new code uploaded, I put the board back outside. After a few days, I finally had some results. Alright, so here is the graph for the battery voltage. I've been running the sensor for around 2 days. And yeah, as you can see, the solar panel charging is definitely working because right here, it continues to discharge and then reaches a pretty low point. And the sun these past couple of days has been coming out at around 11. So it's been overcast for most of the morning. And right here at around 11, the voltage goes up because the battery recharged. Then it goes down over here, continues to discharge into the night, and eventually it will pop back up around the same time, around 11 right here. So yeah, that means that the solar charging successfully works. And with that, I'm really happy with how this build turned out, and I'll definitely be using this in more of my projects, as I hope you will too. If you want to get one of these boards for yourself, then make sure you check out the link in the description. And if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed because Solar Planter V2 is coming out really soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.